We are top of the league. What a win that was. Brighton 1, West Ham United 3. Now, normally I do man of match at the end. I'm going to do it at the very start. Usually, that from Antonio is enough to be man of match. I thought he was absolutely fantastic tonight. A hand in all 3 goals, scoring one of them, but a hand in the other 2 goals as well. But Alphonse Areola, wow. David Moyes made a bit of a ballsy decision at the start of the season, but tonight he's just reinforced why Moyes has made the right call, putting Areola in as number 1. That was fantastic. I know he conceded 1, but it feels like a clean sheet for him. He deserves a clean sheet off the back of that. You know, Brighton fans will be coming away from today's game thinking, how did we not score 4 or 5? But you know what? We could be thinking that as well. While we scored 3, we're unlucky not to score another couple. But that result... Now, against Chelsea, I didn't see the win coming at all. Today's game, I was a bit more optimistic. I was hopeful of getting a draw. But do you know something? I didn't think we'd win today. Brighton are a good team. I stand by everything I thought about Brighton. They are still a good team. That will be a difficult place to go, which is why that is a fantastic result for West Ham. To have 7 points from our first 3 games, Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, and then Brighton away. That's not easy fixtures on paper, but to have 7 points off the back of them 3, we're top of the league. And listen, we're only top of the league for a day maybe, but I'm going to enjoy it. It's a fantastic feeling. That was a fantastic game to watch. At times it's difficult, but Moyes' tactics are working. The players that he's selected, the players that we brought in, are working in the way that he wants to play. I thought defensively at times we were solid again. While Areola did a lot of really good saves, a lot of them were from long range efforts, and I'm not too bothered about them, because if you restrict a team to long distance shooting, generally you'll be okay. Now I appreciate that they've scored from outside the area tonight, but it's almost law of averages. You take that many shots, eventually one of them's going to get through. But I thought we started the game pretty strong. We came out really well. We got a couple of attacks on. Paqueta with, you know, half a chance early doors. It was just half a chance. It was a very difficult one to do. We made it 1-0 through James Ward-Prowse. I mean, 2 assists and 1 goal in 2 games for him now. As soon as he scored, you almost felt yourself really liking James Ward-Prowse immediately, almost. But Antonio was brilliant for this goal. And he did something similar. I mean, he chased everything tonight, but he had that 50-50 with Lewis Dunk and got the free kick. Didn't think it was a free kick myself on the touchline. But that would give Antonio encouragement. He would think, right, okay, the referee's going to give me stuff here. There's a physical battle. He's going to let some things go in my favour. You know, he chases Webster down. It's an error from Webster. But Antonio's got a lot to do, and so does Ward-Prowse, because before Antonio gets that, Ward-Prowse is the one that nicks it in midfield and tries to play Antonio sort of down the line. Should get cut out by Webster, but this is where Brighton playing the way they play comes back to bite them in the arse a little bit, because if that was a West Ham player, that was Kurt Zouma would have just put that into row Z. But because it's Brighton, Webster turns. Antonio gets a bit fortunate with it, but he's still got a lot to do. Ward-Prowse has got a big run to do, because as soon as Antonio gets the ball, you can see Ward-Prowse, he's on his heels, he's heading to that 18-yarder. Decent ball by Antonio, and gets a bit fortunate, Ward-Prowse, but you know what? I don't really care, to be honest with you. Made it 2-0 with Jarrod Bowen in the second half, and again, you know, it's defensive. We are defensive. I'm not sitting here pretending we've gone to Brighton and played champagne football, free-flowing attacking football. It's not the case, but what we did do was we went there with a game plan, and for what it's worth, I think if we went to Brighton and played this expansive game, we'd probably get ripped apart a little bit. So we went there with a tactic, a way of playing, which was to be defensive but to be counter-attacking, and I thought we were really good with our counter-attacking play. A lot of our transitions were superb today, and that's why I said at the start, while Brighton fans might think they could have had 4 or 5, we can think we could have had another couple, because we were unlucky. Emerson hitting the bar, for example, but the second goal coming from one of them, and again Antonio, you know, Zouma makes the block in the 18-yarder, falls to Antonio, who's in a left-back position, covering for Said Benrahma. Benrahma's on the halfway line in Antonio's place. Antonio with a lovely ball to Benrahma. It's the type of pass that Antonio wants. That's the type of pass Mikel Antonio craves as a striker. And I mention this quite often on Hammers Chat, maybe every 3 months. I say it often, I've done it for the last 3 years though. But I still remember Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank on Sky Sports one night, and this was years and years ago. We're talking 10 years ago maybe. And he said the best person to cross the ball for a striker is another striker, because they know exactly how that man wants it. And it just reminded me of that today when Antonio played that ball for Benrahma. I thought that's the type of pass Antonio craves. But anyway, Benrahma's still got a lot to do. And listen, he was in a couple of these positions later on in the game where he possibly could have done a little bit better. But on this one, he does fantastic. Gets his head up, gets the ball across for Jarrod Bowen. Unbelievable first touch from Bowen. You've seen... We had chances like that throughout the game where the first touch just wasn't right enough and it kills the attack dead. If Bowen gets that anything less than spot on, that chance is gone. He's getting smothered by Brighton players, but his first touch is incredible. Nice little finish to make it 2-0. Now at this point I was almost laughing because I genuinely couldn't believe it. I thought, well, this is not an easy place to go. This is fantastic from us. By the way, I will address where I am right now. I'm away for a week. I've gone on holiday. So I'm probably thinking, why is it all dark where you are and what are you sitting outside? We disappeared. I booked a holiday on Wednesday and we flew out on Thursday. So I'm away for a couple of, for a week really. But we watched the West Ham game. It was top of the priority. You know, what do you want to do when you're on holiday? Well, we've got to find somewhere for the West Ham game, and then we can do whatever else you want apart from that. But anyway, does it kind of my holiday getting better? We're top of the league. I think it's all downhill from here really. But anyway, went on to make it 3. I mean, I thought 2-0 was fantastic. I was almost delirious at this point. But when it was 3, I mean, this is just... I was laughing at this point because it's a goal kick. Areola just plays it long. And to be fair, they bring it down superbly. Bowen brings it down fantastically well over on that side. Lovely ball over for Antonio, who's now in because of his first touch, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. He's then got defenders behind him. He does a little Antonio twist and turn, doesn't he? Gives himself half a yard, but the finish is superb from him. And we're 3-0 up, and I'm now definitely laughing at this point. But it's just... brilliant. The result is brilliant. Now we went on to concede. You know what, I don't really care. I was nervous for the last 5-10 minutes. I'd be lying if I said when it went 3-1 I didn't sit there going, oh no please, because obviously we were starting to get a little bit more and more defensive, a little bit more and more deeper. The subs were getting a little bit more defensive, which I understand. But when it went 3-1 I thought, oh please no, just don't do a West Ham here. But we seen out a couple of top saves from Areola, Danny Ings knocking one off the line as well. But again, we were unlucky not to score at the very end of the game there in injury time. We were unfortunate not to go get another one. But listen, today, this is just brilliant. Coming into the start of the season, I was a little bit worried that we'd made some of our signings late. How were we going to cope without Declan Rice? I said it in the preview, and I'll say it again now. This is 3 games. I know it's only 3 games into the season. You can't read much into it. That's why when I say we're top of the league, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. I don't expect to be anywhere near the champion. Actually, but we're going to win the quadruple. We're not. But 3 games now, not missed Declan Rice at all. Not for 1 minute in any of those 3 games have I thought we're missing Declan. And I was a bit worried. I thought we were going to miss Declan loads. Last season when we saw glimpses of the team without Declan Rice, it just wasn't very good. But I guess what I didn't take into consideration, which was a bit naive of me, was the fact that we'd replace Declan Rice. Alvarez has made his start today in typical Alvarez fashion, getting a yellow card, but a naughty one that was. Ward-Prowse in there got his first goal for us, also got a yellow card. Souček went off injured, which was a bit of a blow. I felt, again, my honest thoughts when the lineup came out, I thought, okay, we're probably going to go 3 at the back. Alvarez has got plenty of experience playing centre-back, originally was a centre-back, so maybe Moyes is going to put him in there for this one, because we've got no Jarrod, put him in between Zuma and Ogbonna and just tighten up that back, well, it would be a back 3, back 5. But he was in defensive midfield, so we went sort of 4-1-4-1, which I was okay with. Apart from Paqueta on the left, I thought this felt a little bit like, I don't want to drop Souček, so I'm going to drop Benrahma and move Paqueta over. So when the team sheet came out and then we kicked the game off, when the game got underway, you could see how the team was lining up. I was a little bit about it, but then when the half chance fell to Paqueta, I was okay with it. We didn't really get to see that formation for too long though, because of the injuries for Thomas Souček. Then Benrahma came on and Paqueta moved back into the middle of the pitch, kind of thing. But I thought individually, I thought there were some fantastic performances out there. We've mentioned Areola, superb. He's my man of match. I thought Antonio was ridiculously good today. Won pretty much everything. I think Webster and Dunk will be going away from that game thinking, I don't want to play them again, don't want to play him again. Thought he was absolutely brilliant. beast mode. Antonio, like I said, for the first goal, he's gets the assist. The second goal, he's just that pass, and then he gets the third one himself. And we missed him when he went off. Now, taking him off was the right thing to do. He was knackered. He'd given everything. But this is why we almost need Antonio if we can. If we can find a striker that's similar, because when you take him off, you've got to give up what you're doing. And what we were doing was working. You know, Kerr came on, we shuffled the deck, then Danny Ings came on at the end there. But this is why, now I will say, at 3-0 up, I was thinking, put Mubama on. You're 3-0 up, give Mubama a chance now, let him get up there. He's more likely to do something. But Antonio started the season brilliantly. Defensively, I thought we were great. I thought Ogbonna came in, played really well. Zuma was fantastic again. And the midfield played well. And bear in mind, that's the first time, you know, Ward-Prowse has started with Alvarez, and Alvarez has started with Paqueta, etc. So this is a new look midfield, but that had to shuffle really quickly. They would have been in training, they would have been getting ready for today's game, but they would have been getting ready with Ward-Prowse, Souček and Alvarez. Souček had to go off early doors, Paqueta moved over. Suddenly it's like, we're a bit unprepared for this, but I thought we played really well. We gave Brighton no space. In front of our defence, that's where Brighton want to play. We gave them no room, no time, we closed everything down. I thought individually we were superb tonight. The tactics were spot on. Fantastic result. I'm looking forward to the next game, actually. It's injected a little bit of... Oh, yeah, actually it has. It's injected a little bit of excitement for me for the rest of the season and for the short term. And I'm looking forward to the next one. Last season, at times when, you know, playing in the Premier League, we lost 20 of the 38 games. You'd lose and it's a bit, you know, you look forward to the European games, but not so much the ones at the weekend. But now, actually, you know what? Bring on Luton. I can't wait for it. Anyway, I'm going to shut up, disappear. We're off to find another bar, celebrate West Ham, celebrate West Ham win, West Ham being top of the league. I probably can only celebrate it for the next 24 hours, so I will make the most of it. But if you've enjoyed this review, please do drop a like on it, subscribe to Ham's Chat. Catch you in a bit.